make sure. Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Thought I had a good setup here this morning, and I didn't. There we go.
No, you're good. I get it. Okay, cool. All right, here we go. All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Art of Suffering podcast with Dalton Darnell. Today, we have a guy that I do not know from Adam. His name's Pake McNally. He sent me an email and kind of we visited a little bit about his life and what he's got going on, and he wanted to come on and share his story with you guys, and that's what this whole thing is all about, is men and women willing to share life lessons learned, wisdom learned through failure, and all the things. So we'll get started with that. Pate, where are you from, man?
Oh, I'm from Barber County, Kansas. Little town called Hartner. Town of like 180 people now, but me and my wife live on her old family farm out west of Medicine Lodge. So
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, are y'all running cattle, or are we row cropping, or what are we doing?
So the farm is 480 acres. About half of that's under the plow and it's leased out, and then the rest is in grass. And my wife has her horses out there, and we've got some sheep. So we're raising some hair sheep. Started doing that about 3 or 4 years ago, just slowly building the flock. And the plan is to use that, the profits we make from those idiots, to be able to get put in better fencing, get a good infrastructure, and then slowly get into cattle.
Okay.
So I grew up raising cattle with my dad and whatnot, and we had between 50 and 75 mama cows. So did that thing, and then I started my own business, and I started looking at getting the cattle. But I'll tell you what, the input cost for sheep is so much less, and there's just, I mean, we hardly have to do anything with them. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, ain't nothing wrong with that. So where are you originally from? Kansas?
Yeah. I live about 20 miles from where I grew up. And but I went to high school up here in Medicine Lodge. It's a little town, about it's the biggest one in the county, but there's probably 1,800 people in the town. So
yeah, that's cool, man. Kansas is I'm telling you, I've driven through there quite a few times, and there ain't much out there. At least the parts I drove through.
Yeah, you get up on the interstate corridors, and unless you're rolling through the Flint Hills, those big rolling hills out closer into eastern Kansas and northeastern Kansas, I mean, that's gorgeous country. But and then I live down in the Gypsum Hills, the Red Hills. So it's pretty rugged, pretty arid. It turns into kind of like I compare it to like the high desert country. Mixed grass prairie. A lot of it's under the plow, but the further west you get, at least in Barber County, I mean, it's just too rough to plow under. So a lot of big ranches out there. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, so are we talking, if it's kind of like the high desert stuff, so are you further west?
Yeah, I live about an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours west of Wichita. So
okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's kind of where we've driven through, I guess, coming up from Oklahoma over to Wyoming. We've come up through Wichita, and we went to some ropings up there, man. There's this Kansas Ranch Roper Association up there that is just the funnest place to rope on earth. Those guys don't give a crap. They're just like a lot of fun to rope with. Nobody's like, they don't have that that you don't belong here vibe. You know what I mean? They're just like, yeah, come on, let's rope. It's a lot of fun. Love those guys. Cool. So you mentioned in your, I was just skimming through our emails, and you mentioned you were a small business owner. So what you got going on there with that?
I build custom workout equipment, custom workout maces and clubs to like help with shoulder mobility and whatnot. And you talk about Jocko Willink quite a bit. He swings one of my maces. And
Really?
yeah, and like it's not as cool as it sounds. So I looked his gym address up and
Yeah.
sent him one. You know, like
Yeah.
he didn't magically find me on the internet and
Yeah.
reach out. I sent him one probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and
Uh-huh.
he still uses it. Like he'll post it on Instagram once in a while. He's tagged me in a couple of posts. We've had like his wife sent me a really nice thank you letter,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Uh-huh.
But I haven't like it's gotten me quite a bit of business. But
Yeah.
I was really hoping he'd like want to partner up and like blow me up. But that's the
Yeah.
man's busy, so
Yeah.
yeah,
No, for sure.
yeah. Yeah, but I
For
do
sure.
that, and then I do custom blacksmithing as well. So make a lot of
Okay, cool.
knives, branding irons, like it just about anything. I really like doing the forging, hammer and anvil work. That's what I really enjoy. So I
Mm-hmm.
and then I work 20 hours, right around 20 hours a week for the sheriff's office.
Mm-hmm.
Doing I basically make sure everybody gets to court and do some transport and whatnot. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping to get out of that soon and just transition back to working for myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's steady. And when it's
Yeah.
really cold outside or really hot, it's nice to be able to roll into an office and, and get some hours and not have to
Yeah, for sure.
sweat too much. So yeah.
No, no doubt about that. Dude, I've for the last, well, really until this year, for about the last 3 years, I bartended at night to make ends meet.
Hmm.
So that's kind of my skill set that I acquired through college.
Yep.
And it's a really handy way just to go for 5 hours and make enough money to buy groceries and all that stuff. So I get it, man. It's like I went to make this video last week, and kind of, there's subsets of videos for me. So there's like the art of suffering stuff, and then there's the 310 stuff, and then there's the 310 edu stuff. And so most of my like motivational type stuff is for the art of suffering. Hang on, I got my dog here trying, don't chewing on nothing. And so one of those, I was going to make a video. I was in here pulling ropes by myself, and I was going to make a video about being a small business owner. And I went to do the voiceover work for it, and I sounded like such a grumpy a-hole. I was like, I cannot. It's like, if you can't work harder than everyone you've ever known or that's ever lived, you should not start your own business. I was like,
Yeah.
God, dude, I just
Yeah.
kind of sound like this grumpy dude but that's how it is, man.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not willing to freaking grind,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't do it. You
Yeah.
can't do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's hard, like my shop is 100 feet from my house. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
like I have a real hard time relaxing with the family because
Mm-hmm.
there's never work, there's always work to be done. Like either
Yes.
in the shop or on our place, like I just 30 minutes before I got on you, I was running a chainsaw, clearing a tree row, like
Yep.
it's just there's always something. So
Yep.
but I'm trying to get better and just relaxing and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but it's tough. It's tough.
Well, that's not a bad characteristic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Where it can fall apart is the kids.
Yes.
And I just involve mine in everything.
Mm-hmm.
They're like a good dog. They're
Yep.
like, they can just come and do, and like bringing them with me isn't a problem. I just bring them, and then if somebody's got a problem with it, well, they can go home like it's mine. So my
Yep.
youngins come with me to work every day. My 12-year-old nephew works here. Like, we just that's just how I operate, because I just truly believe that it's good for my sons to see me work hard. And they're involved. Like, we're playing, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm working at the same time,
Yep.
like I might make a rope and then rope him,
Yep.
as he
Yep.
comes by. So it's there's a balance there. And I think where a lot of people go wrong is if you separate your life in a way that's like work is work and life is life, and your wife isn't involved in your work or doesn't know anything about your work, or your kids don't, then it feels like that's more important to you than them. But if they're involved in it and they understand it or come with you or whatever, it really helps them to go, okay, well, my husband's just a really hardworking sucker, and like, I'm going to come swing gates for him, or I'm going to go out there and hang out with him, and, but you know as well as I do, when it comes to being a small business guy, like it takes all of you.
Yes,
and
it does.
if your wife's not on board, you should go work at Walmart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can't do it.
Yeah.
You cannot do it.
Yeah, it's hard finding that balance. Like, I'm either, like, lately I've been running a chainsaw a lot, so I don't want my boys out there with me, right? Running around, because I'm dropping some big trees, and like, so that's dangerous. And then when I'm in the shop, I'm either welding or I'm hammering really hot iron. And so as they get older, they're definitely going to be in there with me and right alongside me. But what I've had going on lately, but like, we'll go walk the fence together, you know what I mean? And get around, go check on the horses. And they are helping me with chores every evening. And
how old are they?
So, I got a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. So,
dude, me too.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a freaking grind, buddy.
Yeah. If I remember right, your kids are your oldest is like a little softer hearted, more laid back, and your youngest is like an animal. Is that right?
Savage.
Yes.
He's a freaking savage.
Same.
Yes.
The exact same. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, we put Wiley Man in. Wiley's the oldest. Big crier, dude. This guy cries a lot. He's a big crier. And so we put him in the freaking martial arts, buddy.
There you go.
Game changer for this guy.
Yep.
It has been so freaking good for this dude. And I did it a little bit. I've kind of, once we moved the rope shop here, I was doing the jiu-jitsu thing. And gosh, dude, it's so much fun. But my wife started a business last year, and we've been renovating her a storefront. And like, we're talking, like, I get to the rope shop at 6, I work till 2, I go straight to her place, and I'm running trim and like painting and getting her shop ready. And so I hadn't been able to train or do anything like that, but it's amazing the mind wipe that stuff is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I started training jiu-jitsu in 2006, and yeah, it completely changed my life. There was me before, and then there was me like kind of in the middle, like when I was doing MMA and competing. That's savage. And there's me now, you know what I mean? But like, like, without it, I would have gone down a bad path. Like, it was, yeah. So.
It's wild, man. It's a like, I told my wife, I said, somebody knowing this much of that will hurt you.
Yeah.
I mean, bad. Like, them boys will get a hold of you, and you're like, I don't know what to do right here. I don't know how to protect myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was rolling with guys that weighed 50 pounds less than me, and they just kill you. Yeah,
no, absolutely. Absolutely. And then, God forbid, you come across a guy that's a lot bigger than you with technique, that knows the technique, and then you're drowning. You know, I consider myself I'm the world's okayest black belt. You know, like, I'm good, but I'm not a world beater. You know, like, that's. But I do it to stay sharp, because I've had to use it in the real world before. But then just for that mental focus that you have to bring to it, you know, like, just
it's another level.
Yeah, absolutely.
There wasn't one time I rolled that I didn't come up seeing stars.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking straight up, like, didn't know where I was afterwards. Like, dude, what is this? This is the funnest sport ever. And it hurts. Like,
yes, it does.
Legitimately, it is painful.
Yep, definitely. Especially when you're on the receiving end. Like,
oh my gosh, man. Yeah. There's this freaking kid, man. He's like so he's Wiley's Tong Soo Do instructor's son. real handy with karate and Tang Soo Do, the kicks, all the things.
Yeah.
He was a white belt too, but he's been doing martial arts his whole freaking life. Anyways, he's 18 years old. He's like leading the choir at church, like just the nicest guy, you know. Yeah. And I would go in there and roll with this kid, and he would get to choking me out, and I am like, this is a child, son. I mean, I literally, like, I can bench 10 times as much as this kid. Squat. The kid couldn't even look at the bar I can squat, and he is annihilating me. I'm like, what is going on? The people in the other parents would sit and watch, because we do it at the same time as the kid.
Yeah.
And so, like, my friend's wife is sitting on the side of the mat just watching me get demolished by this child, you know? Like, dude,
that's awesome.
Come on, man. It was good. I couldn't swallow right for like a week afterwards. I was like, gosh dang it, man, this sucks. But I love it though.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's good for your kids, and like to be able to see dad get beat up too once in a while, and then you get up and you're fine. Yeah, you lost, whatever, you learn from it, go on. But like, I've got some guys that are 10 times better than me. Come in and they'll teach a class or two, and then they mess me up, like in front of my guys, the guys that I taught everything to, and like. 10 years ago that would have bothered me, but now I'm like, no, you need to see that there's levels to this, like
100%.
it's okay, like we're here, or I'm here, you're there, and this guy is way up here, and you can get that good. Probably not with me teaching you. But you, like, if you dedicate yourself and that's what you want to do, you can do it. And then my sons see me get beat up too, like, and that's okay. Like, I don't mind at all. It's good for them.
Yeah, there's a humility factor to that whole game that is like nothing I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
Like, you go in humble, and even when you win, it's humbling. Like, that guy subjected himself to that. It's not like a humiliating thing. It's like this, I am here to train and get better, and getting choked out is part of the deal. You know what I mean? And it's pretty neat. It's a neat deal. What's a typical workout look like for you other than jiu-jitsu? Like, do you work out other than that?
Yeah, I used to run quite a bit, and then about 2 months ago, I tore my calf muscle at annual training with my unit. So I'm on the mend with that, and
God, that sucks.
Yeah, it's better. I'm a little skittish. But during the winter, I work out a lot, like barbell work and dumbbells, all that stuff. And then in the summertime, I try to take it outside more and focus more on with kettlebells, my maces, that I build, and body weight stuff, because I'm like, during the spring and summer, especially, the manual labor that I'm having to do in the shop, I can't smoke myself like in my workout and then go work a full day. So I tone it way back, and I'm getting older too. Like, so I've kind of adjusted. Like, my back is pretty jacked up, so I've got to be way more careful than I had to, even a year or two ago. Like, it's just, so I still get after it, just different, in a different way. So, but
I can totally relate to that with the arthritis. Like, it's more of a mental thing for me than it is anything else. Like this month, I'm trying to do a Murph every day for 30 days. And like we've been talking about, Pake, are you a believer? You believe in Jesus?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, odd question, but that just ties into what we got going for me here. So, like, trying to get re-entry back into the gym, try to quit drinking as much, like just trying to change my habits. And the Murph, if you've never done a Murph, it's a 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and then another 1 mile run. And if you want to be a real freak about it, you do it in a 40-pound weight vest, but I'm not like that yet. So, But what I find myself, and I've had this conversation multiple times this week, is about if a man truly understands what he's supposed to be for his wife and his children in the world for Christ, a smart man quickly comes to the realization that he needs another source of strength besides himself.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found with the Murph, on every occasion I've done it. Now, 3 years ago, I did this. I did a Murph every day for 30 days. And every single one of them sucked for the whole 30 days.
Yeah.
And what I've found this time around, because I'm in less physical shape than I was then, is that there's a point within that Murph where I have to find Christ, where I have to go to him and go, I literally cannot do anymore. You got to do them for me, you know? And it's like this small little mental training exercise for myself on seeking God in it. It's like, okay, I get into that like 140 range of the push-ups and the 200 range of the squats. And I'm like, all right, Lord, you're going to have to push these out for me right here, you know? And specifically that second run, that second mile, that's just deep prayer. You know what I'm saying? Like deep physical suffering. So it's interesting to me. And I just got off a podcast with another guy and we were kind of visiting about stuff like this. But like when it comes to your sons, kind of what is your strategy for showing them weakness?
That's
your weakness.
Yeah. Well, I get beat up a lot in jiu-jitsu, so they see that. That's a big part of it. Me and my wife, we try not to. We communicate really well together. You know, when the conversations are too heavy, we like go to another room or go outside. But we try not to hide much from the boys. That way they can see the real me. Like they can like see grumpy dad and whatnot. And I try to explain to him like why I'm like this, you know, like what happened. And I do my best, and I've gotten a lot better about it, about leaving all that stuff at the door, you know, not carrying anything home with me, even if it's something that didn't go right in the shop. With that 100-foot walk, like I can walk into the house and by the time I get to the house, you know, I've started praying more, and your podcast has had something to do with that. Just giving more to God. And but yeah, that's a really good, I'll have to think about that, Dalton. Like I want them to, like they've seen me cry before, like we've lost good friends, and like I've lost a couple of mentors, and they've seen me cry, and I'm not like, I don't try to hide that from them. Like the like my dad and whatnot, like I only saw him cry once, you know, but and he wasn't like a super hard man, but he just didn't show his emotions that much. And I want.
Isn't it interesting how you remember that?
Yeah.
That one time, dude.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'll be 39. I'll be 40 here soon. So yeah.
40 years.
Yeah.
40 freaking years, dude. You remember the one time.
Yeah.
That means something to me.
Yeah.
That's important to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they were dropping me off. Like I turned 18, and my folks were split up. They were divorced, and but I took a job out in Colorado right after I graduated high school, and it was the fall after I graduated high school, and they were dropping me off in Durango, Colorado, and I was working for a conservation corps, building hiking trails and whatnot, and he couldn't even say like bye to me, and yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and you know, like I had never seen that, so like I didn't know how to react, you know.
Of course, you're like, whoa, guy.
Yeah, exactly. And he gave me a hug and walked away, and that was a lot. Like, we're getting deep, Dalton.
That's the goal, baby.
Yeah, a couple months later, he was killed in the in a truck accident. He was driving a water truck in the oil field, and anyway, something happened, and he rolled, and yeah, that was it. So like that was the last time I ever saw him, and
That is
yeah,
insane.
yeah. So yeah, yeah.
That's something I've been thinking about often, is showing my sons my weakness. In them understanding that, because here's the thing, dude. If you take your role models and you put them in front of you and they never show you their weakness, they never show you them working through something or apologizing or being wrong.
Yep.
How do you learn to be wrong?
Yep.
How do you learn to be weak? And then where to go when you are weak? And it feels like you're just sinning in front of your kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like when I drop a hard freaking F-bomb in front of my 6-year-old, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, and like every Christian you've ever met is like, oh my gosh, you can't say that in front of your kids, you know? And it's like, well, then how's he going to feel when he does it?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not going to know what to do. He's not going to know that that's what men do, because it's what men do. It's what they do. And so I spent the majority of my life like feeling like I was this teetotal piece of shit because I reacted to situations in that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I never saw my dad or my granddad or, you know, react this way. And so I've just made it a point, dude, that I am just as brutal in front of my kids as I am in front of you or any other man that I'm doing life with. And with the goal being that by the time that sucker's 16, he's got a real grasp on what being a man is.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Your kids are the same age as mine, and it's like, we got 10 years, dude, before we hand a pair of keys, and they're in real trouble. You know what I mean?
No kidding.
It's amazing.
No yeah.
Gosh,
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that week, like I grew up, my dad, like he was a big reader and he loved Louis L'Amour. So he got me turned on to that when I was, I think 12 or 13. So I just devoured those books. So like my dad was a cowboy, you know, like all these, like all the men in those books. And I don't know if you've ever read any of them, but
I haven't.
They're the strong, like they're great books. But they're the strongest. They're always in the right. You know, they hardly ever lose like a fight with anybody. You know, they're the fastest gun in the West. Whatever. So like, I grew up thinking like, well, shit. Like that's what a man is. Like that's what
How am I
gotta
supposed to be that?
Yeah. And like I tried living it for a long time. You know, and like I did a lot of crazy stuff. And stuff I'm like had experiences that I'm proud of, some that I'm not so proud of, and then you have kids and you're like, well, I can't, I want to be like a hard man when needed, but like it definitely made me softer, you know, and in a good way. And so, yeah, I don't like it's just hard. Like I'm sure they write books about it, but I've never read one. Like we're just trying to muddle our way through this. And, yeah. So,
well, there's such a balance. There's such a balance between fabricating hardship for your sons, and then loving them through it. And like one of the hardest parts about loving your son through anything is allowing them to experience it. And a funny contrast in my life is my wife she's wanting to save them. You know, she's wanting to swoop in and save them and love them, and that's her job. And my job is to go, not yet. Hang on just a minute. Just give them just a minute, you know? And it's a good thing. That's how it's supposed to be. And I think men, you know, in the world today it's such a difficult conversation because it's so muddy. It's so muddy what people think men should be. And it's so interesting to me that if you dive into the Bible or if you ask God what a man's supposed to be, it's very freaking clear. It's very clear. And while it's not easy, it is simple.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the core root of this is loving.
Yep.
You love the people around you.
Yep.
And love does not always look like what the world says love is, especially for a son.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gosh, because they're gonna have to get wrecked, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, buddy, but you're gonna get wrecked, you know? And natural consequences are the best for this, like, because then you just get to stand there with them and go, yeah, well,
yeah,
there it is. But the hope is that they have a deep understanding of natural consequences before they turn 16.
For sure. For sure.
That's my goal anyway, because then they can kill somebody. But
yeah.
I don't know, man. That's interesting. Well, tell me about your wife a little bit. How long you been married? Because you're almost 40 and you got a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old, so you had them late in life.
Yeah,
I
did. Yeah, and I'm glad I did. Like, if I would have had kids any younger, I'd probably be a real shitty divorced dad. And like, I knew that through my 20s. Like, I went through a lot of stuff, and I just needed to get it out of my system. And then we've been married 8 or 9 years. Shit.
Okay, so you were married a little bit before you had kids.
Yeah, she grew up around here. We're living on her family's farm. She's 7 years younger than me. She graduated high school, went to college, and then she moved out. She was on the equestrian team out at the community college she was going to. Graduated and then moved out to South Carolina and worked for a cutting horse trainer out there.
Okay.
And that's what she did all through high school, was work for a cutting horse trainer. So she's the horse person in this family. Like, I'm trying to learn from her. But yeah, she moved back home after her dad died, and we got together. She was my bartender, and she was wearing shorts about that big. Long legs, you know. Yep, she knew what she was doing, and she moved home right about the same time I did, and we were both like pretty hot messes. Still, she was dealing with her dad dying and then losing I think all of her grandparents, like, within a really short amount of time, like 2 years. Like, it was crazy. And then she'd gone through some other stuff. So when we got together, we dated for 3 months, were engaged, and then married at 6 months. And yeah. And I had been in some relationships, you know what I mean? Like, and I dated a girl that I thought I was going to marry, but then life happens, you know, mistakes were made. And, but yeah, we got together, and she's awesome, man. Like, her crazy matches my crazy, and we've matured together as well. Like, we both went pretty damn hard in the paint when we first got, even with a couple of years after we were married. Like, it would be a Tuesday and we'd be like, it's been a long week, let's go to the bar, you know, on a Tuesday night, and then go shut her down, you know, and just but she's awesome. We've grown up together, matured together. She keeps me grounded, you know. She's a lot more steady than I am. Like, I can get a little more pissed off easier, like, not fly off the handle, but like,
so gonna get up a little bit here. My wife's the same way. She is emotionally bulletproof. How did kids change that relationship for you?
Well, it wasn't about us anymore. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know if she would agree with this, but she took to it pretty damn naturally. It seemed to me, you know, but just, you know, like one thing we learned real quick is that like your kids don't give a shit if you're hungover. Like they don't
No.
care. You know, they do not care.
Up they are.
Yeah,
Up
yeah,
they are, ready to go.
yeah.
Yes.
So like it forced us to like kind of we had another little human to take care of. So like that became our priority. And
Mhm.
it both softened us up quite a bit. Like we communicate a lot better now.
Mhm.
And we communicated really well before, but like we
Yeah.
talk about everything. We don't like she just told me the other day she tries to give me the silent treatment when she's pissed off, but then she'll see like a funny puppy video on Facebook, you know? And then
Yes.
we're good. We're good. And like, and I'm more the kind of guy like, well, if we're gonna fight about it, let's fight about it right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like, no, we're gonna, and she has to mull things over and get things
Mhm.
right in her mind, and then we can discuss it. And it turns out that's pretty healthy. That's a pretty healthy way to do it instead of in the heat
Mhm.
of the moment when you're just letting emotions take over, you know? So
Oh, 100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
My wife, dude, I used to talk so crazy to her. Like especially when we were dating.
Hmm.
Like I'd be talking crazy, and she grew up in a very good household,
Yep.
and I grew up in a little different
Yep.
environment than her. Not that it was bad, it was
Yeah.
just my folks would fight,
Yep.
and um she would say stuff to me. She'd be like, do you really think it's acceptable to talk to somebody like that? Like, wouldn't even get up, would just be like, who talks to people crazy like
Damn.
that, and so over the years, she would say things like, it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I have been molded into a pretty good communicator.
Yeah.
It took a lot of doing. It took a
Yes.
lot of doing.
Yes.
Because we dated for like 4 years before we
Nice.
got married.
Nice. Yeah.
And I was gonna be sure, you know what
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
saying?
absolutely.
We were flipping over
Absolutely.
every rock on that deal.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but it's interesting to me the way people like I can say the first time I started truly seeking Christ for to change the way I was as a man was right before I got married.
Nice.
Like I started panicking. I was
Hmm.
like, dude, I can't take care of this woman.
Yeah.
I can't be what I need to be. And
Yeah.
then that happened again when that youngin was on the way.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because my wife, we had dated for maybe 3.5 years. And I was a manager for an Outback Steakhouse. And I would go to work at 2 in the afternoon and get home at 12. And then I'd drink till 5. And then I'd go to bed and I'd get up at 1 and do it all over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she came to me. She was in nursing school at the time. She came to me and was like, man, I love you, but you're just a piece of shit. Like, I cannot marry you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're talking 3.5 years of our lives.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I got to make a change. And around that time, my brother was in OTS for the Air Force, which is
Mhm.
like, I don't know, 20 miles from our house.
Yep.
And it was Thanksgiving, and he brought his whole class over for Thanksgiving. And they talked me into joining the Air Force.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, I was 24 years old, needed a change.
Mhm.
So I literally the next week quit my job, went to a recruiter, and they were like, you're 30 pounds overweight. So I quit eating for a month,
Yeah.
lost the 30 pounds, got into the Air Force, and then she married me about 3 months after basic training. She
That's
married
awesome.
me, and history was,
Yeah.
we're done, which
Yeah.
sucked because like a month after we got married, I had to go to tech school.
Yeah.
And I was there for 7 months. I was like,
Yeah.
this is supposed to be the good time,
Yeah.
like none of that. I was gone the whole first year.
Yeah.
Um,
No honeymoon phase.
no. So it's but once we had that little one, man, like the responsibility of not just totally screwing up another
Mhm.
human.
Yep.
Like
Yes.
I don't know how anybody is a bad parent or
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah.
Like it's that weight is, you look at that little face and you're like, it's all on me right here, buddy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's me and the king,
Yeah.
and we gotta do a good job for you. So, so how long have you been in the military?
Um, Going on 10 years. So
Okay, cool.
I I always wanted to do it, and then got married and was running my own business, and like we're planning on having kids, and I was like, well, shit, like kids are expensive, and so is health insurance, so I'll just join the National Guard or the reserves, and
What a champion.
yeah,
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
yeah,
That's the stuff right there.
yeah. So I'm currently a staff sergeant. I'm 86. Oh, it'll be a year ago in September, and I'm a combat engineer in the Army Reserves, and I'm currently with a route clearance unit out of Kansas City, and I've never deployed or anything like that, so I've never been downrange. When I first joined, I was like, hell yeah, let's do that. And now as I'm getting older, a little more broken, and with the kids, like I'm like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that like I'll go,
Yeah.
but I'm no longer like,
Send me if you got to,
yeah,
like
exactly,
if you really need me,
yeah,
guy, I'll go. But I
that's
was the same way. I didn't
yeah,
want to deploy at all.
yeah, yeah. So, well, I'm
But
glad to
not that
do it.
I wouldn't have seen combat though. I
Yeah,
was a maintainer, so
yeah,
like
for
I'd
sure.
be in a hangar working on airplanes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a damned important job, though. Got to keep those things in the air. So,
Yes, that is
yeah,
true. It
yeah,
was okay. I hate mechanicking, dude. I'm
hmm
more of a horse guy.
yeah,
I like something that breathes, but
yeah,
it was cool. It was
yeah.
good for me. Same thing. The insurance really came in handy. Um, how was your freaking basic training as a 30-year-old?
Oh, well, I turned 30 in basic. So it was like physically it was easy. And
Yeah.
then yelling at us like whatever. Like I was a wildland firefighter through most of my 20s out in Southern Colorado, and then we traveled all over the west half of the U.S. fighting fire. So
Hmm.
and that's just brutally hard work. Everybody like you talk to people that don't know anything about it, and they're like they think it's glamorous and like you're a hero
Hmm.
and all that. Like, no, you're carrying a 30 to 40 pound pack, digging fire line or running a chainsaw, just getting your ass kicked. So
Yeah.
like physically I was all about it, and then
Hmm.
jujitsu kept me in shape and like I was, got the highest score in the PT test out of the whole company. But it was those damn kids, man, like that I
I'm
had to deal
telling you,
with.
dude. I am telling you, buddy. That shit, it was. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
The first thing any drill sergeant ever told or like spoke to me directly. Like we were all lined up. It was day zero, they did the shark attack and that big old thing. And this little stocky drill sergeant walked up to me. He's probably like 5'6", stared up
mhm.
at me and shoulders as wide as a doorway. And he's just like, "How old are you, McNally?" I was like, "Oh shit." Like
Here we go,
29
baby.
drill sergeant, like, and they treated me like everybody else, but they also kind of like when some dumb stuff would happen, they'd kind of pull me to the side, and they're just like every once in a while they'd be like, just keep playing the game, like you're doing fine, like
Yeah,
yeah. So I played the game and got out of there, and yeah, haven't looked back. So
dude.
yeah,
Those freaking kids, man. I'm telling you what, son. And we
that's
had this
like
one. I
yeah.
can't remember his name, son. So do y'all have did y'all have entry control monitors?
Uh, Well, we had fire guard like that we had to post up every
Yeah,
night.
so a guy that guards the door.
Yep. Yep.
Yes. Okay. So that was called an entry control monitor in the Air Force. Okay.
Hmm.
And they're giving out jobs, and everybody said don't volunteer for a job,
Yeah.
And I didn't count this as volunteering. I didn't mean to, but but I'd been a restaurant manager for years at this
Yeah.
point, and they were handing out jobs, and somebody said, who's good at writing schedules? And like me and the two older guys were like, you know?
Yeah.
And so they made me the entry control manager guy. So the way it works is you have to have 2 door guards at all times, 2-hour shifts, 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to write this schedule. There's 50 guys in the dorm where they had to guard the door, you know?
Yep.
And so at 2:00 in the morning, two guys are getting up and going to guard the door, you know?
Yep.
And there was this series of questions that you had to ask anyone who came to the door. And if they screwed it up, right, they would come get me out of the bed or come find me, and I would get annihilated. All right. And so it would be like knock, knock, knock. And then the guard would go to the door and say, trainee Darnell, reports as ordered. May I see your common cat card? Right. Yep. And then they would put their cat card on the door, and the trainee would say out loud, reading one common cat card for technical sergeant, blah, 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 access granted. Okay. And if you messed up any part of this, and there was a whole freaking sheet of paper on the wall that told them exactly what to say, they would come get me out of the bed, and they would cuss me out, and then they would cuss them out, and then they would make me take their post.
Yeah.
But they would they would do stuff to us. We had this one MTI. His name was Sergeant Nunez. He was one of the funniest, like military bearing, zero existence for me with this guy. Like everything that came out of his mouth, I was laughing. Like I just couldn't help. He was just dry funny. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so he would do stuff like he would walk up and just kick the door in, right? The little trainee comes running up, 18 years old, scared for his life because he's got to greet the MTI and say, trainee, blah, 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 reports as ordered. Let me see one common access card. And then Sergeant Nunez would take like a whole monster can and slam it in the window. And then the kid would have to be like reading one white monster can, access denied. And then he would freaking lose his mind out there. You're going to let me in this freaking thing? I don't have my cat card. Like losing his mind. The kid's crapping his freaking pants, you know? And then they'd come in and wreck me because they didn't let him in. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I end up getting fired from that job like a weekend. Thank God. They put me on latrine duty for like 3 days. And then they made me an element leader, which is like, your bunk line or whatever. Like I was in charge of those 14 dudes. Yep. And I had this one kid, man, who kept telling everybody the only reason he joined was to write a book, was research for his book. He's one of them guys. And one morning, like week 3 or 4, we got up for PT. And you're running. Like you wake up at a dead run just to get your drawers on and your face shaved. And we all jump in line. And Bro Dog is in his whitey tighties. You know them whitey tighties they give you day one when you get there. Yeah. He's in his whitey tighties, sitting up next to his bed, crying. And he's in my element. And I'm like, if Bro Dog don't get in line, I am gonna get wrecked right here. So I go over to him and I'm like, hey, Eugene, freaking get up, man. What are you doing? He's like, I just can't do it anymore. I was like, shut up and put your drawers on and freaking get in line, They ended up, they kicked him out for like mental. Like he had like a mental freak out. Like he just lost his cool. And, but gosh, man, those young guys, like it was like, and I was only 24.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You were 30 years old, man. I bet you were like, you guys are freaking idiots.
Oh, yeah.
Like young people, man. Like,
yeah. It was, I mean, looking back on it, like at the time, like, I tried not to take it personal, but it was just like, it's easy to forget how stupid you were when you were that age, and in the middle of it, and just like, just grow up. Like, shit's not hard. Like,
just run. Run. Yeah. Just keep running.
Just do what they say. Like, and Yeah, we got through it. It was a shit show, but we got through it, you know. And then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I got out and I got in a really good unit, and like just a bunch of good old boys, you know, and
Yeah.
loved those guys. And yeah, it's been quite the experience. I'm happy to do it. It's a nice, like, I forget the soldier part of me quite a bit, but I put
Mm-hmm.
that damn uniform on and then like flip that switch and go to work, you know. And so it's a nice break, like,
Yeah.
and I try not to bring that home either. You know, there was one year I was gone for a total of like 6 months, just doing different trainings for the army, going to different schools, and that was hard not to be like, not to treat my wife like one of the Joes, like one of the guys, you know, like, because I was in that mindset pretty much the whole year, you know,
Yeah.
and so yeah, yeah, but I'm getting better at it too. So, yeah,
Yeah, I can count that as the one of the worst jobs I've ever had. The
yeah,
infant control monitor.
yep,
That stuck. That
yep,
was I was like, this is going to be a long 8 weeks, boys. Like, sheesh, that was not cool. And you know, it's funny. Like I look back on it now. Basic training was pretty easy, other than the
yep,
young people.
yep.
Um, like getting yelled at and all that stuff didn't bother me a lick.
Hmm.
And typically, I wasn't usually getting yelled at for me. I was getting yelled at for uh you know,
Yeah,
because Joe over here can't freaking read a sheet of paper
yeah,
under pressure. You know what I mean?
yep,
Like,
yep.
come on, man.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh,
Yep.
would you tell your kids to do it?
Whew. It depends on the climate here, and if when they're ever there, how when they are old enough to join. Like it's been nothing but positives for me.
Hmm.
You know, I wouldn't necessarily be against it. Like, hopefully, they would do a job that would have some uh mean something in the civilian world. Like like I can make explosives and do all that stuff. It's kind of hard to find a job doing that in the on
Hmm.
the civilian side. So I would hope they'd go do something like that. But yeah, I don't know. It just depends on the climate, you know. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's a crazy world we live
yes,
in.
sir. Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. I'm pretty bound and determined on convincing my kids not to go to college.
Hmm.
Because I count that as one of the dumbest things I ever did. You
Yeah,
know, like going to business management school while I was running a business and learning from people who've never run a business,
yeah,
like make that make sense.
yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes,
So
it is.
I learned more managing Outback Steakhouse than I ever did for the 90 grand I paid for college. You know,
For
like it's
sure.
just so stupid.
Yeah.
Um, so then that's a large portion of why I bring them to work every day is because
Hmm.
it's like, you know, OJT, come on.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
if you can tie ropes,
Absolutely.
you'll have a job forever. So
Yep.
it's uh it's a good deal for them. But I find it's tough for me. That college thing is tough, and lots of parents get irritated with me because I'm like, why do you want to go to college?
Yeah.
You know, and if the answer to that question isn't to be a doctor or
Hmm.
maybe a lawyer or something that actually requires some serious schooling from
Yep.
someone who's done it,
Yep.
like don't do that.
Yeah.
Just go to work, get
Yep.
a job, and
Absolutely.
learn that
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with like, I mean, you can go to the University of YouTube, you know, and learn how to do
way.
stand-up
100%.
now. Like, it's
100%.
insane. It's
I
insane.
actually
So,
teach there, so
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Yeah. Working on your doctorate. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is funny.
Yeah.
Um, so we're building maces, and we're
Hmm.
so tell me about the knife thing. That's cool. I've never
Yeah.
met a knife maker before.
Yeah. So I mean, I use, like, oh, either I'll buy steel like from a knife making company, Jantz Knives out of um, Davis, Oklahoma. I'll buy new steel or I'll use high carbon spring steel. It all just depends on what kind of knife they want. But my main focus is just on making a good all around knife that like the working man can carry and use and beat up. Um, Hopefully not treat like a pry bar or a screwdriver or do anything stupid like that. But Yeah, I make like the most expensive knife I've ever made was $300, and that was a really fancy one. But I like making the using knives that like a guy can work a day, make enough money, work 1 or 2 days, make enough money to buy a knife from me. And then if they
Yeah.
lose it, they're not like, holy shit, that's $300 down the drain. Like they can save up enough to um, get another one from me. But I make a bunch of bowl cutters, those blunt nosed knives. I make a bunch of those. I'm gonna be making one for you. Um, I've got an idea
Oh,
for it.
nice, man.
So yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
like a knife now. I
yeah,
really like a knife.
yeah,
They're just cool. Like
yeah,
there's something about a knife that's just like this
yeah.
is freaking. They're just
Absolutely,
cool.
absolutely. So,
I used to carry a little Anza
uh-huh.
um with me, but I could never keep it
Yeah.
sharp. And for the last 5 years, I've carried a freaking the only knife I've carried is a just a K sodbuster.
Oh man. Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
I mean, they're like $40.
Yeah.
They stay surgical. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You can
Yeah.
cut a bull with them.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
do you build
Absolutely.
sheaths too, or
No, I've got
you got a buddy that does that?
I've got a leather guy that does that. He's actually a fellow I'm going to talk to. Going to talk to him about getting on your podcast.
Okay,
Because
cool. Yeah.
he's got quite the story. He was in the Air Force. Now he's a
Hmm.
Baptist preacher, and just
Okay.
a man I really respect. He's a good fella.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he makes the sheaths for me, and so he
Okay.
makes a little bit of money, and I do as well. I've always been interested in leather work, but
Hmm.
every time I get a hobby, I'm like, well, how can I make money doing this? So I've decided
Yeah.
I like the next hobby I take up is going to be either golf or fishing, like
Yeah.
because you can't
Hmm.
make money doing that shit,
Yep.
like, or at
Yep.
least I wouldn't be able to. So
Hmm.
yeah,
No, me neither.
yeah,
I love golfing and I love fishing.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I don't fish anymore because it's like crack for me.
uh-huh,
But I do golf as much as I can.
yeah,
It's a very difficult sport.
yes,
Um,
yes.
so I'll ask you this: it, in this that we might need to have this conversation off the air here,
Mhm.
but how busy are you making knives? Like, are you so blowed out that you?
Oh, I mean, I've got day before yesterday, I hammered out 5 knives. Spent all day doing it. And then this, like, it's pretty damn steady. Like,
Mhm.
I don't necessarily want to be just a knife maker. You know what I mean? Like, but I've got 6 like that have been ordered that I need to get done. And the busier I can stay in the shop means the less I'll have to work at the sheriff's office. So
Mhm.
like it's as busy as I want to be, and I don't do any advertising. I'm gonna
Mhm.
start doing it, but
Mhm.
just to try to make more money. We're getting a modular home put in, and my wife
Mhm.
is pregnant. We're having a little girl,
Oh,
and
oh, buddy,
yeah,
let's go.
yeah, in August. This will be the last one, but we're gonna have a little princess, and she's already gonna kill me. I can feel it.
Yeah,
But
no question.
yeah, so we got really fortunate where we live. This is family land. It was a family house, so the everybody that was involved with it, all the family members, they just signed it over to us.
Wow.
We got a little 5 acres. Every family member has a little 5 to 20 acre spread, depending on where they're located on the place. And, like, and then the rest of it is just owned as a whole, everybody
Mhm.
owns a percentage. And,
Yeah.
so I'm really just trying to show myself and my wife that, hey, like once we get the modular put in, like I can support us doing everything out of the shop, and
Mhm.
that's scary as hell. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm taking this summer, busting my ass to make sure that if I do decide to pull that trigger, it'll work. So I'm working
Mhm.
60, 70 hours a week right now with the sheriff's office stuff included to to prove to myself that we can make it happen. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, my question is, so I've been venturing into, have you ever heard of drop shipping?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So we ventured into this a little bit. So my wife makes custom apparel.
Yes, sir.
Um, and so she drop ships all my shirts for me. So
Nice.
if you order a shirt off of
Yep.
310s, we send her the invoice, she makes it and she ships it and all the things.
Yes, sir.
And if you got a sheath guy and a set of knives you can make, that is something that I most certainly would be willing to put on 310ranchlife.com.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
The biggest thing I found with the custom stuff
Yep.
is we are very mom and pop when it
Yep.
comes to production.
Mm-hmm.
We are very corporate when it comes to marketing, baby.
Yep. Yep.
That's my department.
That's
So
my weakness, Dalton. Like that.
well,
Yep. Yep.
this might be a God thing here.
Yep.
So we might be able to work something out on that deal where we can run your knives on the site, and then I'll just send you the order, and you just stick it in the mail. And
yeah,
you know, most guys on the custom deal, they totally understand like that taking time and all of the things, you know.
Yep.
So
Yep.
but yeah, we could talk those logistics later. That's cool, man.
Hell yeah. No, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Yeah. I would. Yeah, and it's one of those deals. Like if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I bet we can make something happen for sure.
No, there's no doubt, because
yeah.
I don't know a cowhand on earth that ain't got a knife.
Yep, for sure.
You know what
for
I'm saying?
Sure.
And that's a pretty that's an everyday carry.
Yes,
son.
sir. Yep. Yep.
That's
Absolutely.
a fact. So,
Absolutely.
and you don't find them. It, you know, with that's kind of the thing about it with all this stuff is like there's little islands of things that you can find and get, and you find this one guy that'll make this one thing, and then you got to go here, and that's kind of my hope for 310 over the years is like where we can be a one-stop shop for what a daily cowhand would need.
Yeah.
Whether it's a rope or a set of whatever. Now, I probably won't ever sell bits because that's kind of not our thing. And I just don't know anything about that. But a knife is a different discussion. That's not a bit. So do you make anything else other than the knives, or and I know the maces?
Yep, I've made a bunch of Brandon irons. Those are probably one of my favorite things to make, is just because like everyone comes with a story, you know. Like I just finished one up for a fella who was in my old unit, and his ranch is like, I think it's like 120, 130-year-old family ranch down in southern Oklahoma. And they've had the same brand the whole time. And so that I love doing that. Or if it's a new brand, like the family just registered, or if it's one that they're registering for their kids, like that story and that history that comes along with it is one of my favorite things. Like I take that really seriously, you know, like I geek out on making those brands. I'm not saying I'm the best, but like I try my damnedest to make them to where they'll last. They won't burn up super fast, you know, in the fire, and it's cool.
Really cool.
Because, you know, real hands are going to be using it, you know, every year. Like I love that. So, and then I started making some single piece spurs out of farrier's rasps. I'm still like, I've sold a few. I made I made some Chihuahuas with like great big, like 2.5 or 3-inch rowels on them. Just buckaroo shit, man. So
some straight gut hooks, baby.
Yeah. So I'm getting into making the spurs, and would love to get into that. Doing it the way I do it, bending that band to make it smooth all the way around from start to finish it's a lot of trial and error. So I'm designing a really simple jig that I'm hoping will take a lot of the work out of it. So, but yeah, I'm really wanting like knives, spurs, and then the workout maces. I'm working with a guy right now too. I've got a product that, a workout product that I think I can get patented, and I'm really hoping that hits. So then, like, I'll never retire because, like, I'll die if I stop working. But man, it'd be nice not to have to worry about money so much. So
Yeah,
I'm hoping we can make
100%.
something with that. But yeah, I make about anything. I've made a lot of.
So explain the workout mace thing to me.
Yep.
I've never seen any of this.
So it's On It is where Joe Rogan's On It company and Aubrey Marcus's they've started making them. They really blew them up probably about 10 years ago now,
Hmm.
and but it really helps the shoulder mobility. So I'll try to do it like you're holding the weight here in front of you, and it's got like
Uh-huh.
most of the weight up on top in its head, and then you drop it back behind you, and so it's pulling everything. Like,
Hmm.
not too much, you don't want to go super heavy to get started, but it's pulling everything behind you, and then you have to use that momentum and a little bit of strength to pull it back forward to get it
Hmm.
around. So in this day and age, we're all on our phones all the time, and like the work that we have to do, we're all hunched over and whatnot. And I've noticed personally that when I'm swinging a mace a bunch, like my posture gets better, and it
Really?
just pulls everything back. It makes your back and everything's a little bit stronger. So like it pulls your shoulders back, makes your posture better. So like when I'm running long distances, like anything over 10 miles or whatever, like I start like breaking forward quite a bit. My shoulders start rolling forward and just everything starts hurting. This helps me like stay stronger for longer. Like I can run upright with my hips and my shoulders like pretty much in a straight line. You there, Dalton? Oh hell. Hmm. Technical difficulties. Hmm.
weird, dude. I don't know what happened. I thought my freaking dog chewed my wire or something, but it's about to storm outside.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
What in the heck?
Well, something was bound to happen.
Okay. Yeah, no, right? But we're still rolling. It never quit recording.
All right.
So we're good. Okay, so you're talking about the
Yep.
mace. You said your posture.
Yeah.
You feel like your posture gets better when swinging
Yep.
it. How heavy is that?
Typically, like so I make a few different styles, but my most popular one is a 15-pound loadable mace. So you can fill them with ball bearings or sand, and all it is, it's like pipe caps that you use for fencing. So 5.5-inch pipe caps, a section like a 6-inch section, a 5.5-inch pipe, typically a 1/4-inch wall, and then I use either 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch, or if you're a monster, I'll use 2-inch tubing for the handles. And then I I weld two 2 7/8 inch pipe caps together for the pommel on the end, so it doesn't fly out of your hand. And really simple design. Like when I first got started, I was like, I'm probably the only one that's ever thought of this. Well, anybody with a brain that can figure this out, it's not hard. But yeah, it's become stronger industries. It's a quote from a Louis L'Amour book, and it's "You are strong, become stronger." And so yeah, it's really cool. Like I really enjoy doing it. I'm having trouble like the marketing aspect of it, like and just getting I'm a one-man shop, trying to do it all, and that's tough, and I suck at asking for help, but I'm getting better about that too. Like I'm saving up some money to get a professional like marketing agency in here that's relatively local, and they're going to spend about 4 hours with me when I'm doing the blacksmithing stuff, and then another 4 hours with me when I'm doing the mace stuff. So then I'll have a bunch of different material to use. So yeah.
Hey, hang on.
Yes, sir. Yep.
That'll do. Yeah, I got a buddy. How far are you from Tulsa?
Oh, about 4 hours. So
yeah, I got a buddy of mine that lives in Tulsa. He's actually just about to move, but he's a big time organic guy. He's a really good videographer. He's
nice.
He's kind of high though.
Yeah.
But he does a really good job. He's done some stuff for us, but that's yeah, man, the marketing is a it's kind of like fishing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like fishing. It's it can be challenging like getting the content, but now in today's age with the kind of phones that we have and stuff, like shooting everyday content is pretty if your mind can think it, you can pretty much get it done. Do you do TikTok or YouTube,
a little bit?
like
I'm TikTok for me has always been like pretty damn negative in the workout space. Like, cause I'll post some, my wife calls them thirst traps on, I'm like swinging a mace shirtless and stuff like that. And like, and then I'll get some like 17-year-old, well, in my mind, they're like a 17-year-old kid that's never been punched in the mouth, like talking smack, like, why are you doing that? That's stupid. You should just bench press. And like, okay, man, like whatever. So Instagram has been my main one. But then about 2 years ago, my account, well, it did get hacked. I fell for a one of those schemes where they tried to get your all your info. So my account got taken away, and it was my own damn fault. So I went from like having, I think I was right around 5,000 followers, really good customers, like a really good group of people that were following my stuff, to 0. And so I'm rebuilding from there. And it just is what it is. And trying to figure out that work life, family life balance. But I'll tell you what, listening to your podcast has helped me out with that, because I'll be exhausted, just beat to shit from the day, and then my oldest will tackle me, followed quickly by my youngest, and then I'll hear in the back of my mind, like, get up and play with your dang kids, man. I was like, shit. Okay, here we go.
That was a nice southern accent.
Yeah, like a spirit animal, just right in my ear.
That's right.
But it's good and it's true. Yeah, I'm exhausted, I'm wore out, but I can take 15, 30 minutes and I can go outside with the boys and I can wear their little butts out running around, and I'm a little more tired, I'm a little more dirty, but I'm sure as hell not any more grump. Like, it makes me happy, it's just getting up off the couch and going and doing it. That's the hardest part. So, yeah.
Yes. 100%. 100%. That's cool. I'll have to try the mace thing, because my workout journey, like, I started working out in the military and tech school, and I really got into the powerlifting thing. Like, I really liked benching, squatting, deadlifting, and I set these really lofty goals for myself, and my goal was to do it all natural, not ever take anything and so for about 5 years, I went stupid hard trying to meet these goals. And, I was weighing about 180 pounds, maybe 175 pounds. And I wanted to get to where I could bench 250 for reps, squat 365 for reps, and deadlift 405 for reps. And once I did it, it was like, well, now what? What kind of freaking 30-year-old is squatting more than 365 and is healthy, And all the while I had arthritis. So I was like, and it was good. It's very good for my arthritis, like staying in shape.
Absolutely.
That kind of increased my vigor. Like, when I got diagnosed, I started looking up all of the stuff, like the comorbidities and the things that'll really put you down. And it was all from being fat. Every one of them was from being fat. So I was like, okay. And so once I met those goals, I was like, damn, man, like, now what do I do? And I'd kind of fallen in love with that aspect of it, but would just kind of felt like I had peaked a little for myself. And so then I started doing a little bit of CrossFit stuff on my own. And then, because like a CrossFit gym, bro, is like $190 a month. Like, what are they selling in there, man? Like, this is crazy, like, the community's cool and I really like the workouts, but like, dang it, I can't be dropping $2 on my gym membership when down the road, it's $25. So that's kind of where the Murph thing comes in.
That's awesome.
Like, I really like that workout and it's really freaking hard. So I just, I don't know. I'm kind of in that same deal. It's really hard to get up in the morning and go, because I'm so busy, and I've never been an afternoon workout guy. I just, at the end of the day, I'm ready to be done. But that's cool. I'll have to try that, because I've never, and as you can see, right, I'm freaking terrible posture.
It's just the life we live. One workout that I really enjoy doing, because it's mindless, is just a deck of cards workout. I try to do those 3 or 4 days a week, and because it takes me 20 or 30 minutes, and I can make it as hard or as simple as I want to. And then, like, you just flip that stupid card over and you do whatever it says, and you're done when the deck is done. And then you got your workout in for the day. I do that a lot during the summer, when I just don't want to completely exhaust myself. That's what I've been doing. So,
dude, I ain't done one of those. I had this guy in the unit that I was in. He did that. But he made it he's one of those guys that's like just going to make it terrible on you. You know? I mean, like, you go work out with him and he's like, like, to my knowledge, so if I remember correctly, so each suit is an exercise. And then the number on the card is the reps.
Yep. And
yeah, he would do like he'd put 225 on the bar and like diamonds would be
yeah,
squats. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like that
yeah,
guy.
yep,
And every time you drew a king, you're just like,
yep,
freaking
yeah,
come on, dude, let's go.
yeah. I
Oh, it's so
scale it
bad.
like if I'm doing barbell squats with it, like each card might be, depending on the weight I'm doing, might be 2 to 5 reps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that way I'm not like, because I work out at the sheriff's office. We got a nice gym, so I'm not like hobbling up the stairs too much when I'm done. And because like
Yeah.
I've been in situations where I've had to chase criminals down before, and like I really want fresh legs underneath me when I'm doing that. Like so,
She's looking like a baby deer
yeah,
running down the
exactly,
road. Like
exactly, yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
terrible.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
What's your viewpoint on Bulgarian split squats?
You know, I've done them, but it's been probably 15 years. I think they're probably awesome. But I typically I'll either do like just a front squat holding like a between a 35 and a 60 or 70 pound dumbbell or a
Mm-hmm.
kettlebell, and then just a
Mm-hmm.
regular barbell squat. I don't with the way my back is right now, kind of getting off kilter, like I can feel it, so I really have to make sure
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing everything perfectly, or like I'm not going to be
Yeah.
able to get around for 2 or 3 weeks, and I can't
Yeah.
afford it. So I go lightweight, medium reps anymore, just so I can keep
Mm-hmm.
keep working, So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, dude. Those Bulgarians are a freaking
yeah.
nightmare. You about to head out? All right, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow. Absolute nightmare. I got into doing those like stupid heavy back in the day,
Hmm.
as Jocko would
Yeah.
say. Um, and they don't hurt my back as bad as like a barbell squat. If I get sideways on those deals, like if I go too heavy, that'll cripple me
Yeah.
up good.
Yeah.
But like holding those dumbbells, if I ever got kind of squirrely, I could drop them.
That makes sense. I should try
Um,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it kept me from. But my issue's always been in my
Yeah.
core. You know what I mean? Like on a squat or a deadlift or anything, like it was never really my legs quitting me. It's my core and my back
Hmm.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
tilting. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Um, and there's been times in my workout life that like the arthritis has been a
Yeah.
problem, and then I just quit squatting
Yep.
altogether and just do other
Yep.
stuff. But there's nothing quite as satisfying though as just smashing like a heavy
Yeah.
squat
Yeah.
set. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like you come out of that like I'm a freaking
Yep.
man, dude. Like,
Like whatever
like I
gets
can
in
lift
my
the
way.
world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yep. No, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I jacked my back up in jump school for the Army, and
Mm-hmm.
came in real hard on my fifth and final jump, and it bull whipped me into the earth, and I landed funny, knocked me out, and like it was a mess. And ever since then, man, like
Gosh.
I've had a hitch in my giddy up, and just
Yeah.
have to be careful now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I think we're all kind of in some kind of boat like
yeah,
that. Like it's a, I don't know that the fabricated suffering
hmm,
is something that's just a special. It's just a special thing. Like fabricating misery for yourself and then learning to enjoy
yep,
it is just working out is like the truest form of
yep,
this. It's like you can see the reward in
hmm,
yourself, but the mental that you get from it is so good.
yeah,
It's so
yeah,
good. And
absolutely, absolutely.
I don't know. Well, as far as suffering goes, Pate, so what would you say has been your biggest pain point over the last 10 years since you got married? We'll
Hmm.
say since you got married. What have you struggled with the most?
Um, well, let's see. I'm trying the one that like we lost a couple of good friends. One in particular. the way he passed away was super tragic. So that got me spiraling again. And, you know, so I started drinking a lot more. I picked up smoking again. I had quit for like 10 years, like hadn't touched them. Like even when I was drinking heavy, hadn't touched them. And then that just got me spiraling. And it took me a while to climb out of that. But I'll tell you what, like I went for the past, I'm trying to think of how long this has been going on. For the past 2 or 3 years, probably, I've just felt like I've been really foggy and just not right. Like I could still do everything physically. Like I was, you know, I could do all of that stuff, but my brain wasn't, I just wasn't firing on all cylinders. I wasn't as sharp as I felt like was normal. And like depression was hitting me really hard. Like shit got dark. And there for a while. And I don't know what triggered that, but I just got like it got bad. Like nothing to where I was gonna kill myself, but there were times when I'd go to bed and I'd be like, you know, if I didn't wake up in the morning, like
It'd be all right.
yeah, I could sleep for 48 hours or forever, you know, like it just yeah. And then this happened. So about a month ago, I was talking to Taylor, my wife, about it, and because she was going through some shit, you know, and she's pregnant, and so her hormones are just all over the place, and she was just like, I think I need therapy, and like that made me admit to myself, like, hey, I need to look at something like this too. So I started slowly climbing out of it myself. Long story short, I went and got blood work done, and my thyroid levels were all jacked up. So 3 weeks ago, I started on meds for that, and I finally feel like I'm back to my old self. Like my mind's clear. You know, I'm as sharp as I felt like I was before. Like this fog rolled in, and I'm not near as moody. Like the depression it's gone. Like I still get pissed off, still have bad days, but it's not near as dark as it was. So, I mean, that was whipping my ass. And both me and Taylor, like she started doing some stuff to help herself. Mainly listening to podcasts and whatnot and trying to get her mind right. Cause we live in the sticks. Like, there's therapists around here, but like we've gone out drinking with them. You know what I mean? Like we're not. Yeah. It's just kind of tough. So we both admitted to each other that we needed help, and we're both like trying to climb out of it. But I really think it was my thyroid that was all jacked up. That was a big part of that. And yeah, you know, and then trauma, like bullshit that I went through like right after my dad died, I lost, like me and my sister lost my dad. And then within 13 months, like 2 of my best friends were killed, you know, like I was 19 years old when that happened, and it fucked me up for a really long time. And, so I think some of that came to the surface through this other loss, you know, like you hold on to all that stuff. And, yeah, it's just so like this, but I wore it like as a badge, like, oh, your life, like you think you've had it rough, like you have blah, blah, blah. Like I wore it with pride, you know what I mean? And I was an asshole, like for a lot of that, like nothing overly over the top, but like drinking too much, like just doing dumb shit, using that pain as an excuse, you know? Yeah. And I've just realized just in the past, well, after my son was born, I was just like, well, we've got to start hammering this out, you know? And I've never I haven't done actual therapy, but I've opened up to some friends of mine about some of the shit that I'm going through. And, and then they talked, and then we talk about it, and we're doing, instead of just drinking to drink, might have a couple of beers while we're hashing that stuff out. And then I leave, and like you feel better. It's kind of after like rolling jujitsu for a couple of hours. You're beat up and you're sore, but you feel really good after you've unloaded all that, So
no question.
yeah, yeah.
I feel like me and my wife are in a similar spot. We started this guy. I went and taught a clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy just randomly that was at this clinic was like, "Hey man, I've been listening to your podcast. I want to tell you my story a little bit." And he calls me and he's like, I suffered with depression for a really long time, and this, that, and the other. And these supplements really helped me out. So I started doing research on Gary Brecka and the gene mutation thing, all that stuff. And my wife has said to me on numerous occasions, she's like, "I think I need therapy."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, me too, and neither of us have gone to get it. And I've kind of come to this conclusion that like that needs to be a priority for me, is to help her get it. And then me go too, just cause man, like you got wounds, dude, you got wounds that need to get hashed up. And what's funny is my granddad was he was a counselor, marriage and family counselor. And after he died, it was like I had a therapist my whole life, or a counselor my whole life, and then he died, and it's like, now what, So I don't even know where to start looking for something like that, because you don't want to go to some freaking dank, some kook that's just crazy. But we did start taking those supplements, and we started taking it they call it the motherfucker gene, and it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing the difference that it's made in me. And then it's funny, like I literally set my wife's vitamins out every morning when I take mine in this little bowl, and I'm like, "Hey, take your vitamins," and I'm still like, "Take your vitamins," you know what I mean? And so, but it's funny because we're in the same situation as you are with the new business, and like we got 310, but then she's got her business coming on, and then the 310 EDU stuff, and then the podcast, and then there's just so much crap that's like you're trying to get going or work through, and it's been very challenging, mentally and physically to do all of these things, because it requires so much work. And so that's interesting you say that, because I was literally laying in bed last night, and I got my TikTok going to where I get paid on views on TikTok. And so I was like, okay, if I make any money on these TikTok videos, I'm going to take it all, and I'm going to get my wife a therapist. And we got debt and stuff that needs to get paid off and all that. But I was like, because when I was in the military, we had incredible insurance. And then when I got diagnosed with arthritis, they wouldn't re-up me. And so we lost the insurance, and then we paid for out-of-pocket insurance for a while, but it's just such a scam, dude. Like it's garbage. It's so bad. So we went self-pay 2 years ago now, and the first year we saved $6,000 being self-pay. So we stayed self-pay, but that means that when you want to go get a therapist, you're self-pay, old son.
And they're not cheap. The good ones aren't.
No, no, they're not. But that's cool, man. Well, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad you got the medicine you need, and you got it going your way.
Yeah, it's just incredible. Like, it's just like, well, shit, how long has this been going on? Like, I can't even remember like when I felt normal. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, have I been running off of like at 50% for 10 years? Like, I don't know. But then I got thinking, like, well, if I could get all that, because I got a lot done when I was down and out. It's like, well, what? Like, if I can get to 100%, there ain't a damn thing that's going to stop me, And my wife she rolled her eyes and she's like, shit, like,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But
Well, that's good. She supports you. What's she do for a
So
living?
she's a stay-at-home mom mainly, and she keeps the ball rolling. And then she delivers the mail. She's a relief carrier on a couple of rural routes out in the county
Oh, okay.
for the post office. So she'll go and do that. I'd say on average twice a week. She'll go run a route, and makes good money. Gives her a chance to get away from the kids. Like she's by herself in her truck just doing her thing, and she needs that.
Yeah.
Before that,
We all need that.
yeah. So she worked at a vet clinic. She was like the practice manager at our local vet clinic for quite a while. But then we had kids, and she wanted to stay at home. So yeah.
No, that's always it's always funny to me when young girls are like, I'm going to college and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to be like, when you have a kid, guess what you're going to want to do, old son? Because my wife was immediately like, I would like to stay home with this thing I created. I was like, well, me too. I would like you to do that too.
I don't want to pay a stranger to take care of our small child.
Gosh, man. I've literally been kicking out the idea of like moving the rope shop to like a nicer shop. Like this place is a dump. But and then building like a 20 by 20 room in the back and making it a daycare and just hiring like a daycare person.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, huge benefit to the gig. You know what I mean? You come in, you work, you bring your kids, and it's just part of the. We can't offer health insurance, but the Sherry in the back will take your youngins and teach them how to read while we're out here working.
And then your kids are right there, so like you don't. Yeah, no, that's brilliant. It'd be
cool.
How many people do you have working for you, Dalton?
I have okay, so there's Dad and Joni, so that's my stepmom and my dad. And then there's me. I have a shop manager, her name's Madison, and then Evan ties the ropes, and a guy named Tim who pulls the ropes. We really need about 3 more. But just don't have it in the budget at the moment. So kind of my goal is if I can get some other things that we got going, is to kind of phase myself out as like the manager of the whole deal and take my salary and hire help in here. Cause these dudes are like last week, last Thursday night. So we would be caught up by Friday. I took 100 ropes home and tied ropes in my living room till 2 in the morning. So we're mom and pop on production. I mean, like the real deal. So it's kind of, I don't really have enough time to get done with what I need to get done when it comes to the marketing and the stuff like that. So we're just kind of working through some of those logistical issues at the moment. And all it takes is extra work.
For sure.
On my part, a lot of work. So I'm pretty fast at tying ropes. I'm pretty handy at it. So I can get quite a few done after the kids go to bed. But you just don't want to have to work like that till you're dead.
No.
Yeah, we got to free up the finances to hire people. And then finding somebody that can tie ropes is not a thing. So everybody you bring in is just totally they have no clue. And teaching them how to tie that knot. It typically, before they're good enough to actually ship a rope that they tied, 6 weeks to 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, because you just don't want, like, your Hondas can't be crooked, man. The knots can't be garbage. Like, you just can't send stuff. I mean, these are tools that guys use for work, and they depend on them, and they cost a lot of money, So if a guy spends $80 on a rope, it needs to be what he needs it to be. And ours by nature are they require some break-in because of the construction. They have some benefits that other rope companies don't offer because they kind of water them down for the public. Like, so our ropes require quite a bit of break-in and like you got to work with them a little bit to get them perfect. But they have more body and they have more weight and they have some things that it, for me as a cowhand, like I love them. Like there's not a rope on earth that I would use other than these, and that's why we
Yeah.
sell these. So I appreciate those things. But if you're like a guy that doesn't know
Mm-hmm.
and you got our rope, you'd be like, what am I supposed to even do with
Yeah.
this? Because you got to work with it to get it
Yeah.
right. So I was real nervous about kind of swapping to that model because we used to carry like a lot of different
Mm-hmm.
ropes. And kind of about a year ago, we really just swapped to the things that actual cow hands want
Mm-hmm.
and need and want to use. And you know, because when those guys get them, they're like, yeah, dude, yeah, we'll break it
Yeah.
in. You know, it's not a big
Yeah.
deal. But if you send it to somebody who's going to like a ranch horse show and they're only breakawaying with
Yeah.
it, and like those folks are going to have a little bit of trouble with our
Yeah.
stuff because you got to use them.
Yeah.
You have to use them pretty heavily to get them
Yeah.
right. So,
That's awesome. Yeah.
anyways, we're working through all
Yeah.
of it. It's business is nothing more than problems and solutions.
Yeah.
And if you dedicate yourself to finding good solutions, then it gets easier. But if you let problems spin you out, it's not a good deal.
Sure.
Like you don't want to own your own business if problems spin you
Yeah.
out, because that's literally all it
Yeah.
is just people calling all day long with BS
Mm-hmm.
that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, like how does this even happen? You
Yeah.
know? So anyways, at the beginning of this year, I ran this huge pre-sale for our new ropes that came
Mm-hmm.
in, and we sold a bunch of them. It was great. We needed the money. We needed it to keep operating and keep going. And the manufacturer calls and is like, we had a malfunction with the lead twine that goes in your ropes. They're going to be late like 6 to 8 weeks.
Mm.
And so I had, 200 people order these ropes or whatever, and had to call them back and tell them it was going to be,
Yeah.
8 weeks longer. I was like, okay, I am never doing this again. But that's what that's the kind of stuff it
Yeah.
is. It's like you have an idea. Is it a good idea? I don't know. We have to try
Yeah.
it and then troubleshoot it and figure it
Yeah.
out,
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a buddy of mine. He is part owner in a water well drilling company, but so he's an entrepreneur and business owner and whatnot. And right when we first started doing this stuff, because we started about the same time, it was just like, this is like we're in the middle of an 80s montage, like we're in the middle of our 10-year, 15, 20-year overnight success story. Like, I didn't realize it was going to be so damn hard or long. But I listened to Gary Vaynerchuk enough when I first got started. I was like, oh, well, in about 6 months, I ought to be good. Like, nope. It's nope. So, but it's all right.
We're on year 8 and still clawing.
Yeah.
Trying to figure it out. And God's got a plan for it, and He has guided all of us in the direction that we needed to go. And I am so very thankful for the things that He has given me to steward in this world. But that's the thing about it, dude, is we named our company after Philippians 3:10, and that verse says, for our determined purpose is to come to know the King and share in his sufferings. So what do you freaking think you're about to do? So like, prepare your mind, learn to suffer, and freaking get after it, and if that's what your purpose is, then get good at it. Shoot, dude, what are you supposed to do? So it's all a good thing. The suffering is a good thing, every stitch of it. And there's a lot of people suffering out there that I don't understand. But if it's about what actually matters, then it's worth it.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know, man. It's pretty crazy. But anyways, yeah, dude, tell the people where they can find you, since we're growing an Instagram.
So
where can they find you?
I've got a couple of different pages. One is just Pake McNally, all one word. It turns out I'm the only one, which is cool. You can find a lot of my blacksmith and stuff on that. on Instagram. On Facebook, it's McNally and Sons Forge and Fabrication. And then Become Stronger Industries for my workout maces. And then it's Become Stronger _1 on Instagram for my new.
Okay.
So you can find Facebook and Instagram mainly. So real easy to find. Okay. So yeah. But man, that's I appreciate this. What you're doing, like I've been a heathen for a long time. Like, and I'm finally starting to soften up and like turn to God more and not just trying to fight it all myself, trying to give some of it to God. And it does not come naturally to me, but it's listening to you and listening to Jeremy Morris over at Wild Courage. That's how I first found you. Mm-hmm. Has just really opened me up that like you can be a bad dude and have a strong faith in Jesus. And like I'm working on that. Like I'm still I'm still in the doing baby steps into it, and but it's changing like the way I approach life, and I really appreciate what you're doing. So
hey man, you bet, dude. And that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the whole point is walking down the road with other guys like yourself and sharing the lessons learned, sharing the suffering and trying to help one another, whether it's in business or whether it's in faith or whether it's in fatherhood or husbandry or whatever, insert freaking thing that's going to be hard here. And just doing it together, because half the time, like just being able to call the guy and bitch a little bit about your business not doing well, in that guy saying to you, shut up, get after it, dude. You're fine. It's going good. Let's go. Like that is a huge motivator for me. Like when I call my buddies, I'm like, dude, I don't know what I'm going to do about this. And they're like, dude, shut up. Shut up and let's go, man. Come on. You're fine. Come on. It could be worse, And
you gotta get
I just find that super helpful.
Yeah. You got to get that negativity out that you're feeling, you got to verbalize it. Then they have to tell you, quit being a little bitch. And then you got to go, like but you can't just hold on to it. I wallowed in it I didn't talk to nobody about that shit for a long, long time. And, just held on to it, and like it's just poison, but we're men, like we hold on to those things. It's a learned skill to be able to verbalize it, and I'm still learning, and that's okay. So
no doubt. You look over to the guy on your right and the guy on your left, and you go, man, this sucks.
Yes.
And he says, let's get after it. And then in about 15 minutes, he looks over at you and goes, man, this sucks. And then you go, let's get after it. And then that cycle just all the way to the finish line. Just,
absolutely.
And
absolutely.
It sometimes you're the cart and sometimes you're the horse, and you're pulling one another along. And that's a dang good deal.
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on. We'll shut the podcast down here, but don't hang your phone up, because we'll talk about that drop shipping thing before we jump off. Guys, thank y'all so much for listening. As always, if you need me, reach out, Dalton at 310 EDU. Check out the artofsufferingpodcast.com. We got hats coming. Hopefully, I'm working on it. Check all that stuff out. I appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next video.